So, yeah.
So we'll do, it's just the other motions that's
Yeah.
proposing.
But then I debate just the other motions.
We'll take those and then we'll move into debate around the foreshadowed ones. Do you reckon?
Right, now what we have here on page 1 of what everyone's got in front of them, just for the sake of speed, every one of these has got a mover and seconder. Every one of these has no rates impact at all. So I'm going to throw them all out there at once to get some of our life back. Is that right? So 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, I'm going to put those all as one. Yes, Yanni?
It's a question on the one in Holbert Street.
Which one?
This is M11.
Okay.
And just a slight clarification with M10. My understanding is that the project in time for the draft annual plan adoption meeting in February, and I just think it would be good just to specify that so we're clear. But in terms of Wines and Holbert Street, the LTP resolution is that they are going to be done as part of the citywide street renewal program. Design work starting in 24-25. In the list of street renewals that we have, though, they're not listed in the schedule. I don't think they are for this current year, but I could be wrong, but I saw the table. Oh yeah, sorry, the page number is, oh sorry, that can't see, page 48.
And Wine and Holbert Street are listed on page 49, starting with 3 years of budget, starting 25-26. That's my understanding.
So they're
Yes,
in there? They're just,
Yes, they are in there.
okay, excellent.
Okay.
Righto.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
what we've been told in the past is when a project goes from a program level to a project level, it gets put on the schedule. So that's the schedule here. The decision that we made in the LTP was that design work would start FY 24-25. So the project should, all I'm saying is the project should be put into this with the associated timing and budget, right?
So you're wanting to change your motion, your amendment?
So it is starting this year.
I'm doing that.
It is starting this year through the chair.
Sorry, it's just, I'm just trying to get visibility of it in the schedule rather than in the program budget, given the decision that we've made. That's all.
It is in the schedule on page 49, and it is listed as Wine Street and Holbert Street. Holbert Street from Wine Street to the end, and Wine Street from Worcester to Buckley's
no,
Road West.
so-
Excellent.
Funding beginning this financial year, $50,000 each for.
Thank you, mate. Brilliant.
Sorry.
Okay, so,
Do you,
Great.
yes,
okay, I just
Yeah.
feel like you don't understand. So, no. Like,
Carry
when
on.
we have program projects that are funded from a program level budget, we put it in the annual plan or the LTP so people see that that project is happening. We have a schedule, right? Not a program level, a schedule of street renewals. Those two should be added in that schedule as individual projects, not kept in the program level, if that's the decision that we've made, which is a decision that I think we have made or are making today.
So what's that got to do with your amendment? So that's not what your amendment is. Your amendment is that you're confirming that this is a note. So did you want a different amendment?
Your program, which is this, which they're not listed on, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So, sorry, I don't know how to make it more clear than that.
But councillor, by virtue of the fact that these attachments are attached to the report and there's a detailed schedules for every program, they are listed and the funding does start this financial year.
excellent. So I think that pretty well covers the question. Okay, so I'm going to put all of these as one. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Brilliant. Thanks. So now, just gives a bit of guidance here, Sam, for a sec. I'm just,
So these are all the, so we have
Do we
got a
vote
set
these?
of resolutions, and if they lose, we've got the foreshadowing motion.
So we go down these now.
So we do need to give people an opportunity to
Debate.
debate if they want to.
Yep.
Only if they want
Right.
to, they don't
No,
have to.
we'll go into debate for Recs 1 to 8 and any foreshadowed motions. Okay? Debate. Yes, yes, so far away, mate.
Yeah, I'm supporting the foreshadowed option 4 on the wheels to wings cycleway. Deputy Mayor will be happy to see me saying that the right way around. I think that we've got a pretty pragmatic solution here that gives us, allows us to make quite a bit of progress, quite a bit of safety improvement, and actually save $600,000. So I think that is a pretty pragmatic response to both our desires to build safe cycling infrastructure and managing the hard times that we are in currently. Other than that, I'll be supporting several other of the foreshadowed as well, like the Te Aratai cycleway. Not the full 10 million for Bromley roads, but I'm happy to support a more reasonable amount. That's it from me.
So just a question, Jake, or just option 4 you say saves 600 grand.
Our existing budget with 600,000 surplus left over.
No. No, I can't see how if we're doing more, it's cost less. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, that's right. Anyone else got any debate? Pauline.
Councillor McClellan's opened it up on the wheels to wings. Look, I think this is a pragmatic solution, and particularly the Bishopdale roundabout is really difficult to navigate, and I think we need it. That's the point where the cycles come in to go on separate sides of the road. It's particularly dangerous at the moment, and I think this will address that. It also would allow people to cycle and drive more safely from Papanui to the thriving metropolis of the Bishopdale shopping mall, which I think is a huge benefit, and it will actually promote that business as well. So I think that's a pragmatic solution to just do that part, and as Jake's already said, it does give us $600,000 of change there to stay in the program. Yeah, I'll be supporting the other amendments as well. I can't see anything else that is glaringly out of place there. And I know the Mayor you talk about is only 0.005 and it's only 0.01 and it adds up, but the value that we're getting for these small increases is phenomenal. So the you know, and plus the savings in if we choose option 4 for wheels to wings will help as well. So I really do encourage you to support option 4. It enables this cycleway to get started. It will stop just past the roundabout at Bishopdale, but it means that the remaining section can be addressed in later annual plans or LTPs, and who knows what the funding might look like in the future, but it gets us cracking. So please support option 4.
Brent, I've got to get my head around this. I can't understand it. If an option, tell me the difference between option 4 and option 8. There's 2 lots of traffic lights. Harewood School and what I call Breen's Gardeners. Is that right?
Yes.
That's those 2. In option 8, there's about 100 lineal metres of cycleway from Matson's back to the railway line.
Yes.
How, if we're doing from Matson's up to the Bishopdale roundabout in option 4, is that 600 grand cheaper
No, it's not.
than the
It's
current
on the
budget?
current budget.
600 grand
No, but it's
cheaper than
not
17
600
million.
grand cheaper than option 8.
No.
No,
No, thank you. That's good.
we can do half a
No.
cycleway
And
and
it
save
doesn't
$600,000.
The Harewood School stuff.
Okay, thank you. Aaron, did you ever go?
Well, yeah, it's a little misleading because it says saving 600,000, but it puts 10 million in next year's budget. 10 million.
Doesn't option 8 do the same?
No, option 8 doesn't.
It
You
does
would have
over
read
the-
that.
Does over the course.
Does in
of the
year
LTP.
29. The
Yeah.
city will be flush
So
by
same
then.
amount of money.
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
Okay, no, that's
And
right.
money.
Anyone else want to have any? Oh, you. Sorry, you
Go
finished.
back to debate.
Back to debate. Sarah, please.
Kia ora, koutou. I'd like to encourage people today to vote in favour of the Te Aratai connection, which connects Te Aratai College, which is a rapidly growing college with now at latest count about 15% of kids biking, to the two major cycleways that are already complete. However, at the moment there's a 60 km/h 4-lane road with no space between parked cars and the large trucks that go past. And so a separated cycleway is really badly needed in this area. We've heard from the school, we've heard from parents, we've heard from students. They're all really keen to see this. Soon after we paused it last time and the government had taken the funding away, a student was actually hit on that section of road heading to school. It's really important that we get this done. So I'd like to encourage people to do that. It is a 0.005% increase in next year and 0.2 the following year. It's a really important piece of infrastructure. It connects two key parts that are already built and will be a huge benefit to the wider community as well as they move from one side of Linwood through to the mall and those kind of areas. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Andre?
Thank you. Yeah, one thing I've always wondered on cycleways is we seem to spend a lot of time pushing cycleways which might be contentious or not as widely supported as others, which then takes time, resources and money away from those cycle projects that are really well supported. The more time you spend on them, reconsulting whatever, the more it costs and the less gets done. But just on the debate, I'm just going to ask and encourage Councillor Hanson to just address on where you're at with the Te Aratai cycleway and your views around that. I think it'll be useful as part of the debate. Also just wanted to check if there was an amendment here around Kiwi Rail funding, which I can't see on the paper, but one was sent. That could be addressed as well. Thank you.
We'll wait to the end of debate, shall we? Yeah, and you can answer that one. Or do you want it now? Since we're going in and out.
We can bring it in and out.
Yeah.
Where are you
So
going?
if people want to debate it and they don't see the
yeah, no,
amendment.
we've got that. Thanks for answering. Yeah, no, yeah. We're going to respond to that.
There's an amendment proposed regarding capping the Kiwi Rail funding. However, Council have already passed a resolution to find the funding for Scruttons Road. We also have deeds of agreement with Kiwi Rail on the cycleways going down their land, which lock us into agreements with them, especially around maintenance as well. And there are also provisions in the Railways Act that we must comply with when we're dealing with Kiwi Rail. So for those reasons, we don't feel that it's appropriate that that amendment goes forward.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, this council's chosen to ignore legislation before, and I think this is one we should consider ignoring as well and call your bluff, to be honest, on the Kiwi Rail funding. The example I give would be PC14. We didn't have to follow the law then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't believe that you've got sufficient information to make this decision to meet the Local Government Act requirements on decision making, so we would need to come back with further information or legal advice before you made that decision. Yeah.
Just one, sorry, I'm going to bounce back to a question there, Brent. I'm sure I asked the other day, is that cycleway that goes by Scruttons Road, is it on Kiwi Rail land? And I was told it wasn't. It's on our land, is it?
Yep.
Okay, so why is this, I'm just throwing it out there, why has this one become under that umbrella if it's not on their land?
It's the fundamental change that cycleway has made to their crossing.
Yeah. So it doesn't.
That's the grounds at which they're.
Yeah, I understand that, but I thought just listening to what because it was on their land.
A lot of the cycleway, a lot of those railway type cycleways are on their land, and we don't want to jeopardise any of those deeds.
No problem.
It's also about level crossings.
Okay. So we're going to adjourn the debate for a second. Is there any more questions, or I went into debate too early? Is there any more questions on anything here? You're scratching your head, you'll get in the air. Yeah, Arnie?
Thank you. So just to be clear, if we wish to vote against the increased budget to cater for the costs that Kiwi Rail have imposed upon us, that's attachment H.
No, we are coming back with advice about that. So you need to make that decision based on good advice to meet the decision-making requirements of the LGA.
Sorry, in terms of the approving the changes to the transport plan in attachment H, we can vote against that if we wish to. That's within our right? So that's 5, basically.
If you want to.
Which would effectively be voting against the increases that have been put on for Kiwi Rail.
Where is that?
Does it have any other implications?
And a few other things.
Anything else?
Okay.
All right.
Attachment L. Okay. Right. And then the other thing is, so at the start of the day, I raised concern that the Improving Bromley Roads project, the staff recommendations and the guidance or direction, whatever you like to call it, over the last few months as we've developed the plan, has included a positive recommendation around funding. That's now been reversed with just a couple of days' notice and no explanation given to me as the local councillor. Are staff able to advise why they've had a change of heart in regards to the Improving Bromley Roads project? I think that would be useful to know.
Through the chair, yes, I did commit to answering that, and through the development of the report and the recommendations and the further feedback that we got through the different briefings that you'd had, we were considering the fiscal envelope of where we were at. So staff have considered whether any new money should go on at all. So our consistent recommendation has been not to put new money on for new projects.
Is it all? Right, we are now in debate. Thank you. Right, Pauline. Who would like to have a go? No one? Right. Vic?
I was just going to mainly speak about Simeon Street Cycleway. People are bringing it up as something they're looking forward to on the Spraden Network page on Facebook. So people definitely still are keen for it. So and I've said we'll give it a go. So I hope people support it. It's a relatively small amount of funding and will be a great connection for people trying to get from one cycleway to another and into town. So and it's very well used along both those cycleways. So please support. With Wheels to Wings, I will support option 4. I actually really enjoyed the van trip that we took. It was really, really good. And I learnt quite a lot that I didn't actually know just from going on site, especially around, as Pauline's already said about the intersection, the roundabout at Bishopdale, because it'll become 2 sets of lines. And we saw people trying to cross the road who struggled, trying to get across all the lanes and things like that. So it'll have improvements for people using any mode. Even if we weren't going to put in a cycleway, it would be fantastic. But I think obviously we need to do the cycleway too. So there's a lot of benefits to doing that. We saw heaps of people cycling actually too. And a lot of it was a bit scary watching some of them. And we even saw one guy go into the underpass to go right through under the motorway, right down by the airport end. So people are using that, and if we can connect up to it, eventually that'll be down the track. But it'll be fantastic. So because people want to cycle around. Please support option 4. Let's get started on it, and one day we might finish the thing.
Victoria.
Thanks, Mayor Phil. There's no surprises for guessing where I'm going to land on Wheels to Wings option today, and my mandate to take that position comes from the local sentiment, which I have consistently heard loud and clear. And just a word of warning, don't believe the rhetoric that the consultation results showed otherwise, and that the numbers were there to support it, because that's a matter of interpretation or even confirmational bias, because the consultation results were very heavily skewed by submitters from outside the local communities. So if you look at the figures, nearly 50% of the original consultation submitters were from outside the local communities. So when you exclude those submitters and look only at the local and surrounding neighbourhoods, the results are astonishingly clear that there is only 14% in support of this cycleway. That's 14%. And I've done the maths from the figures that we've got. So I've heard so many of you talk at this table about the importance of the local community voice, and also I hear you often urging your colleagues to support the local councillors who know their communities. I know this community well, and Councillor Kewen knows his community well. And today really is the day where the public are going to see whether, for real, they're going to see whether you mean it when you say to support the local voice, or if you're actually tone deaf to the wishes of the local community. Now, notwithstanding my opposition to the cycleway, I accept that there is no option before us that says to bin it. So the question for us today is quite simply, when and how will this be delivered? And I accept that if we delay, then it may cost more in the future, but likewise, there may be more government funding in the future, so that really doesn't fly for me. And if you're focused only on the cost, saying it's not much per ratepayer, then you're really missing the bigger point, which is ignoring the public sentiment and going against the wishes of the local community, again, I might add. And for those of you who are going to say that it's just kicking the can down the road, well, to that I say this can be kicked down the road, because the simple fact remains that there are other cost increases that we are faced with that we can't control. And we can control this one, and just because there's a budget line for a project does not mean that we actually have to spend that money, and I think it's irresponsible to adopt that approach. Staff have made a recommendation on option 8, and their position is well informed, and I'm really happy to support their recommendation today. In relation to the foreshadowed motion for starting from the East End, my word of caution with that is that the area from the railway line to Greers Road is not the most dangerous section, so that's a little bit nonsensical if your primary driver is safety. Thanks.
Okay, Tyler, then Tim.
Kia ora. I'm going to support most of the foreshadowed motions, but the Wheels to Wings I wanted to talk about in regards to this debate. And I wanted to thank staff for taking us out on that tour. That really showed me the real issues going on in the area. Even though I used to frequent that area going out to Bishopdale, the YMCA there, for basketball, going on that road and actually feeling what it's like after many years, actually it's reiterated to me that there needed to be change. The feeling that I had, just even going around that roundabout, made me feel super uneasy. And the speed of the cars that are going around when there's a frequency of children and elderly, there was an elderly man trying to cross on a trolley, and he had to find a small little gap of someone boosting through the roundabout, made me feel extremely uneasy. We also saw a near miss of a cyclist nearly get hit by a bus going down Hillwood Road. And just the whole vibe of that area is something unlike I've felt before in the other part of the city. And there's been a lot of different debating points from my colleagues, and one of them is following staff recommendations and expert advice, when the irony is we went against that with other Church Corner. Option A was on the table, and I quite proudly say that I did that, but the local community also wanted option A. But what did I do? I met in the middle. Next thing is around having plenty of space for children to walk across the roads and have less space for them to actually cross that road. There were multiple points when on my visit, I saw children biking, walking, and I also saw cars boosting and actually going slow and being really good with the community. The Breens Gardeners intersection, that's also quite a large intersection. It's 6 lanes when you go across that road, which is actually quite significant, and it makes a lot of drivers feel uneasy. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the rhetoric of young people in comparison to the ones that are older than them is extremely contrasting. Reason being is the school kids wanted safer streets to be able to bike, to be able to walk, when the adults wanted to be able to drive through places and be able to boost through them, essentially. And that made it really difficult for me to be able to make a decision on, but it's actually quite easy for me now after the questioning that I had with staff, so I thank you very much for answering those questions. So I'm going to support option 4, and I'll proudly do that, but I would also like to recommend that we do quite a bit of work outside Harewood School with the Harewood Crossing. That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you. Firstly, Simeon Street, I'm going to support my fellow councillor for the area, Melanie Coker. She knows this area. They've been calling for this. They got on board with it, that we got them over the line with it. They want it, and suddenly we put it on hold. So I think it's going to fill a gap in an area where we're really lucky on our side of the city where people want to bike. You see them biking. And as I sit in my car and I see all those cyclists go past, I realise there's a whole lot of cars I'm not fighting with. So it's quite shallow. So I'll certainly be supporting that. The Te Aratai, I think, is a safety issue for me. I've gone there and I've watched it. 60 k's in front of a high school with 4 lanes, and technically it's more than 4 lanes because you've got 2 lots of parking. It gives me the shivers. So I think the more safety we can put around schools, the better. So I'll certainly be supporting Councillor Templeton with the Te Aratai cycleway. So yeah, thank you.
Do you have hand? Yep, far away.
So I'm just going to be speaking in support of the MCR. The one includes the Takara Avon, the Apawaho River route, and the MCR Southern Lights. There's been a lot of discussion around safety, and I agree that we should be prioritising safety across our network. We know that there's still some significant gaps in the network, particularly in the eastern suburbs. So in terms of going where there is a great need, I think it's important to remember that if you're heading from the city to the eastern suburbs, there is nothing currently in place. So that should be something that we prioritise, I think, first and foremost. So I'm going to be making sure that and I guess the second consideration there is we're doing work on Pages Road, which was a unanimous decision, and alongside that we should make sure that we do the other infrastructure that needs to support that safe evacuation from the area. And we know that the best way to get out is on a bike, so I'm glad that Sam's in support of this.
Okay, moving right along. Everybody happy? So now, Yanni, please.
Thank you. So just to start with a few things. Unfortunately, some of you may have been here when I've shared this story before, but for those who haven't heard it, I'll share it with you again. I still recall fondly when I was on a community board at the time, that council had a big discussion about bringing in user charges for black rubbish bags, right? And the council was proposing to do it. And then before the draft annual plan went out for consultation, they removed that as an option that they were going to do. And so they made the vote to not charge users wasted pays for black rubbish bags. So what happened during the consultation is everyone thought that they'd won that debate, and they only had about 2 submissions in favour of introducing the wasted pays. And then at the end of the annual plan process, council adopted, based on 2 submissions, with the majority of the community being silent on it, thinking that they had won, they adopted the wasted pays for rubbish bags in the city. And the reason I say that is that when we adopt a draft annual plan, in my view, if there's things that council is considering doing, it's far better to have them in the draft document for people to have their views and say and to express their views and thoughts on, than to not have it in the draft annual plan and then to add it in at the end of the process. So with that being said, I'm happy to support a lot of the amendments that are being put up today to hear the voice of our community as we go through the draft annual plan process. So there's a number of things that I will support, and I think that gives us the chance to hear from people. I do express a degree of frustration around the Improving Bromley Roads project. It was supposed to be done to inform our LTP. It was supposed to be done to inform our annual plan, and yet we still don't have it. And all the way through this process, I was under the impression that staff recommendation was to put funding towards it, but then it got pulled out at the last minute. Hence, I've put forward a resolution to support option 2, which is the $10 million over 2 years. If you think of the entire area of Bromley, that is a small amount of money to spend enhancing a neighbourhood and a community to address the wide range of things that need to be done. And I've circulated around the outcomes that the community board, in terms of the plan, has agreed. And that is around visual amenity, reducing speeds, reducing heavy vehicles, and so on. So I hope that you'll support it. The residents of Bromley have put up with a huge amount of suffering because of decisions this council has made. And the least we can do is invest in their environment to enhance it, which is what I'm proposing with 6A. And the final point I'll make is that I've looked back at the minutes and the resolutions around the Kiwi Rail crossing around Scruttons Road, and the best that I can tell is that we made a decision that we had $2.5 million in the current annual plan to commence design and pre-construction work, and number 8, we agreed that the construction works will be funded within the approved LTP, Transport Capital Program budget. So I cannot support adding extra money for Scruttons Road up to nearly $7 million when we're so constrained financially, and that money is far better spent on some of these other amendments that people are putting forward today.
Button, right. Aaron?
Yeah, I'll just speak to, I'll speak to two actually. First up, the Simeon Street one, I'll support that. I think Mel's made a pretty good case for why that should go ahead and why we should support it, which is backed up by Tim, the other local councillors for that area, speaking on behalf of their people, which ironically brings me to, or as a segue into being one of the two local councillors for another decision. Do we go with option 4 or the staff option of the 8 on Herwood Road? And I ask everyone to go with option 8 for a couple of reasons. The first up being that it delivers the cycleway at one end, the connection to the Northwest Arc, so over a longer period gives people, users of Herwood Road, a feel of what the MCR will be like. So taking them on the journey. So it's a chance of they'd see it down there and it'll either work or it won't. But it means that at least from there right through to Greers, people go, actually, if the rest of this road's like this, we're okay with it. At the moment, you don't have those people on your side. And when the council scores so badly in its in our survey results around trust in the council, when Councillor Henstock pointed out the overwhelming majority of people in that area against doing the full cycleway at this point, and as councillors we can push through that end. We'll have the people in our area in support, the lights at Herwood Breen's Gardeners and the crossing outside the Herwood School. We will have the people of that area supportive of the council decision if that's what we go for. So if you're a council that wants the public on your side, you'll go with option 8. If you're a council that wants to keep battling with the public over forcing cycleways on them, you'll go with number 4. It is overwhelmingly unequivocal that the people of that area don't like the current design and what is going to be forced on them. So are you forcers or facilitators? And that is what today's vote really is about. And remembering that next year is election year, and do you put your hand up and go, I'm a forcer, re-elect me for 3 more years, or I'm a facilitator, actually listen to the people, I had a strong opinion on Herwood Road, but we've gone with that option, and let's see how it goes. Let's try and win the people over, because I think there's more damage done to cycling by the way that we deliver some of this stuff than is good for cycling, because cycling's fun and cool, and we should have way more people using the incredible facilities that have been built in some areas.
Think back, Mark, please.
Hey, thank you for that. Having listened to the debate, I think I might have changed my mind on one or two of these, so that's what's called being open-minded. So I'm happy to support the Simeon Street cycleway. One of the things that gives me comfort there is seeing it FY 26-27 rather than this financial, because we've got enough pressure on this financial already. And then also Te Aratai, I think I may support that as well, even though I was initially thinking not to. One of the reasons for that is making the environment safer around schools is crucial. You know, I've seen the difference that making a safer environment around Hornby High School's front gate has made. There's more work to do there yet, I think. But I would be keen over the coming years to explore opportunities to make the journey to and from some of the local schools in our city even better. One of the ones that really sticks in my mind is, okay, Hornby High School's good at its front gate, but how do you get through Carmen Road, Main South Road, that absolutely diabolical State Highway 1 to get from Hornby South into your local high school? It's a nightmare. So I'd be keen going forward to just go through some possibilities with the transport team and try and figure something out there. So I'll support the Te Aratai today. I'll also listen to the local councillors, Henstock and Keown, for the Wheels to Wings. They know their community well. They've listened to their community. Victoria's gone through and really closely analysed the consultation and what it actually came back with. So I'm happy to support option 8 as the staff recommendation and the local councillor's recommendation. I do like to thank staff for the tour that they took us on. It was very enlightening and very worthwhile. But at the same time, I don't think now's the right time just to box on and do as much as we can. We need to listen to the community and just take a breath on this and do the option 8, do the connection between the Northwest Arc and the Northern Line, and let that be seen by the community as how's it look, how's it work, and then do the important lights at Harewood Gardeners Breens and also do the Harewood School. But again, to do that potentially without the raised platforms initially, see how it works. If we need the raised platforms, we can stick those in, in a year's time if we need to. But yep, happy to support those today.
Thank you. Kia ora. I cycle pretty much everywhere around the city, and I also own cars, so I drive too, because some bits of my ward are like an hour and a half away, so biking Takarawa is quite hard. But anyway, I've done it. But look, I dream of a day when I can cycle an unbroken cycleway from the airport to Akarawa. That brings me to Wheels to Wings. We've been presented with 8 options and counting, and staff reported to us this morning that options 1 to 4 would increase the average rate in Christchurch by 37 cents per household for the whole year. Option 6, I think, by the sound calculations, would save the average household by about 74 cents per annum. By comparison, the stadium, for example, is putting about $74 on the average household next year. So, this is obviously not about money, but tell me something I don't know. I visited the site last week with councillors Peters, Harrison Hunt, Coker and Johansson, and we grilled staff about the community sentiment, and were told everything that had been done to mitigate concerns and how the project would improve things for pedestrians and kids and motorists, so for the whole community. And I was comfortable with that. So I'm happy with option 4 here, because it will literally not have any rates impact over time, and it's a good governance decision. In fact, look, I understand the local councillor's point of view, but in fact, from my recollection, the two local elected community board members, long-standing in that ward, have supported cycleways in this one in particular, from my recollection, that's covered by option 4. So, you know, there's a balance there. It's, you know, there's two sides to every story. Look, we got some genuine challenges, macroeconomic factors that are really challenging our rates position. We've got to do everything we can to create genuine relief for our ratepayers, and we shelled a genuine opportunity to do that today in the amendment put up by councillors Moore and Templeton. But we also have to balance cost against value and making good decisions. You know, we have to make good governance decisions for our city. You know, I like cycleways. I mean, there's no secret about that. I bike everywhere. It's not because I'm some blinkered ideologue or because I want to piss off some guy on Facebook who I've never met. I just want to make good decisions for our city. I like them because cycling is a cheap and easy way to get around our city. It frees up space on our roads for people who need to drive, and it makes people feel good. It's good for mental health, and they're safe for all of us to use. I like them. They make our city better, which is what makes us such an attractive place to live. And in that regard, the only ideology I have is to keep Christchurch cool.
Samuel.
Yeah, thank you, Phil. And can I just thank the transport team and the staff that have pulled this together. I agree with your recommendations, but I will differ on one, which is Simeon Street. I think that makes sense to do. So comfortable with that, but want to acknowledge you for that. In terms of Wheels to Wings, I think this will be the catalyst for the next 12 months of our council. To be really blunt, option 8 is a signal to the community that we are prepared to listen to them. You know, we can talk about community boards and members and things. There is no greater evidence than Victoria Henstock being elected to the Christchurch City Council than the community sentiment of the Wheels to Wings cycleway. That's how passionate the local community are on that. Victoria was elected on that premise. Look, I think this is a really good balance, and I certainly don't buy into the saving $600,000 argument at all, given that, well, no, it's not really. You bring forward a significant amount of money at the same time, so it doesn't quite work like that. I think the reality is we do need to listen to the local community in this case, and I think it will be a real catalyst. So I think the amendments that Councillor Kewen has put up to the substantive around the speed, removing the speed bumps, also makes sense for that community. The irony is we're delivering something outside Harewood School, which you know, I think one of our colleagues referenced maybe needing to work with them further. This gives them something as opposed to talking about it. So look, I think we get a win-win-win from this, and it's something that I think we should really be proud of as a council. You know, I think it would be a sad day for Christchurch City, and certainly for the people of Harewood, if we were to not accept the staff option, given what they have been through with this, what they've talked about, and what the community has. And like I say, there is no greater evidence of the community sentiment. We can do as much consultation as we like, than having Victoria Henstock sitting around this table today.
Right. We all dude. So, now move on to, it's item 4, recommendation 6A, Bromley Roads. So, we know what we're voting for there, 6A right in front of us. I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Against? No.
You've got 2 resolutions on the screen with the same number, so just want to be really clear which one we're voting on. There's a 6A that says no additional budget, and a 6A that does add additional budget. So, if you could just go a little bit slower when you're putting them to the vote.
So we're voting on the substantive. Yeah. So just to be clear, we're voting on the things that are in the papers, the substantive motion. So that's this one here.
So righto, have another lash, shall we?
Can you just, is it possible just to read out the resolution that you're putting?
Well, why don't we just do a
clarification?
We'll just do a division for all.
Resolves that no, where's it gone? No additional budget is added to improving Bromley Roads project in the draft 25-26 annual plan.
We'll do division to save us time.
Okay.
Division.
So we'll just do division right from day dot?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I?
No, you're fine.
No.
It was,
I'm just raising that I'm down as seconding that.
Yes, staff rec.
Okay.
That's the staff rec. So
Mm.
So the Mayor and Councillor Victoria Henstock.
Because that's all of recommendation 6.
That's hilarious.
So you've voted off.
We all voted the opposite way.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a division for the staff recommendation 6A as above. Councillor Templeton.
No.
Councillor McLennan.
No.
Councillor MacDonald.
Yes.
Councillor Johansson. No. Councillor Fields.
No.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Donovan.
No.
Councillor Coker.
No.
Councillor Peters.
Yes.
The Mayor.
Yes.
Councillor Scundrett.
Yes.
Councillor Barber.
Yes.
Councillor Kewen. Councillor Goff.
Yes.
Councillor Henstock.
Yes.
Councillor Harrison Hunt.
No.
Deputy Mayor Cotter.
No.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against.
That's carried. Thank you very much. Right, now move on to the next one, and I'll read it as well to save. Okay, there it is there. Simeon Street Cycleway, number 6B, resolves no additional budget is added for Simeon Street Cycleway project in the draft 25.
Not to make it difficult, because I don't like being difficult, I just wonder whether it's easier to put including it, because the sentiment from the debate, and I think Victoria and you were the same, you actually wanted to do Simeon Street.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether we just, based on the debate, just change it rather than vote something down
So
and
we
vote
put
for
up
it again.
that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hardly fair on the one that's just been, is it?
Well, yes,
Well, it's just trying to be efficient, because we've been here since.
So it's the
and we've made
mover
about
and the
4 decisions
seconder, the
today.
ones that can
Yeah.
change it, nobody else. So do the mover and seconder want to take a moment to think that whether they are happy to move and second?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what's the question? I want to support the foreshadowed motion on this one.
Yes, there you go, that's what Sam's saying. So I put the foreshadowed motion up.
Yeah, just think, make it your one now.
Yeah, so this now becomes the substantive.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, is that, can you do that, Sam? Is that now the substantive? Right. This, and I'm not going to read all that. This, because one, I can't see it. There we go. So everyone can see that. We throw an extra $750,000 on it for the added to allow construction, design approved by council, yada, yada, yada. So there it is now. It's now the substantive. All those in favour of recommendation 6.
Do a division for all of these. if
All
you-
right, division. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, every single one, if you're going to a division one. Okay, let's try it. Is everyone for it?
I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Great.
Sorry, I won't try and take over your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. You can go now. You've won your deal. Okay. Righto. So now we move over to number 6C, Te Aratai. Okay, resolved that no extra budget is added for Te Aratai Cycleway in the 25-26 annual plan. So we're going to division this, or what are we going to do? Okay. Righto, shoot.
So this is a division for 6C as per the staff recommendations. Councillor Moore.
Not doing it.
No,
Not putting any more money in.
so that's a no. Councillor Johansson.
No.
Deputy Mayor Cotter. No. Councillor McLennan.
No.
Councillor Barber.
Yes.
Councillor Goff.
Yes.
Councillor MacDonald.
Yes.
Councillor Kewen.
Yes.
Councillor Fields.
No.
Mayor,
No.
Councillor Scundrett,
No.
Councillor Harrison Hunt,
No.
Councillor Coker,
No.
Councillor Templeton, Councillor Donovan, Councillor Peters,
No.
Councillor Henstock,
I note that I've seconded it, but it's a no.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 against.
Do we go to the foreshadowed one for this one?
So now do this one? Now. The foreshadowed one now, Mary.
Yeah.
Okay, so because that lost, we now vote on this one. Now, Mary, is it 6C or 6C1? I suppose it's the same. It's all the same, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's all the same. It's a one.
Okay. So we'll just put this, we won't division this. All those in favour of what you see there, option 2, say aye. Against?
No.
That is carried. Yep, good.
So I've got Councillor McDonald against.
And Goff. Anyone abstain?
Okay, so now we're up to, please, 6D. Just move it up there. Okay, so is everyone clear on that? Results that the budget phasing for Otakaro Avon River and Apauaho River is unchanged in the draft annual plan. Okay? So I'll put that, all those in favour? Aye. Against? Aye.
Division.
Yeah, division.
So this is for recommendation 6D as per the staff recommendation. Deputy Mayor Cotter? No. Councillor Barber?
Yes.
Councillor Coker?
No.
Councillor Donovan? No. Councillor Fields?
No.
Councillor Gobb?
Yes.
Councillor Harrison Hunt?
No.
Councillor Henstock?
Yes.
The Mayor?
Yes.
Councillor Johansson?
It's still getting done. It's just getting done a little bit
Councillor
later.
Kewen?
Yes.
Councillor McDonald?
Yes.
Councillor McLennan?
No.
Councillor Moore?
No.
Councillor Peters?
Yes.
Councillor Scundrett?
Yes.
And Councillor Templeton? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against.
So that's lost. So we now move up
Did you
to,
want to make a comment about this one? So we go to the
foreshadow.
foreshadow. Did you ask to make a comment about this one, or you're just noting? Did you even? I don't.
Is the risk of jeopardising the funding, I think, is in terms of the foreshadowed motion, is that it may jeopardise funding from NZTA in terms of, in the future. So it's important, and that's noted there in the option.
That's right, I read that.
The option table, yeah.
In the option table, yes, it may, in page 46, it may jeopardise our ability to get funding in the future. And I think it's important that that is noted for the benefit of the
And the councillor has just asked, is that reflected in the rate increase that's noted there, because it's going to potentially have to be fully funded by council?
Through you, it is. That is the full funding there, so it doesn't assume
Any-
NZTA funding.
Okay, great, thanks.
Okay.
Good.
So here we are with the 6D, the foreshadowed one. All those in favour? Against? No.
Can we assume that it's just the reverse of the last one?
Different people yell louder.
Do the division.
So this is the division for 6D, the foreshadowed motion. Councillor Peters,
No.
Councillor Fields,
Yeah.
Councillor Harrison Hunt,
Yes.
Councillor Coker,
Yes.
Councillor Donovan, Deputy Mayor Cotter, Councillor Henstock, Councillor Moore, Councillor Goff,
No.
Councillor Johansson,
Yes.
Councillor Kewen, Councillor MacDonald,
No.
Councillor Barber,
No.
Councillor McLennan, Councillor Scundrett,
No.
the Mayor,
No.
and Councillor Templeton. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fours, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against.
Okay, that's carried, thank you. So, now, the biggie.
Oh, God,
Every transport road.
Without road safety.
Okay, so now we're up to, it's still item 4, 6E, wheels to wings. So I'll put that motion. All those in favour of option 8 without raised platforms, say aye. Aye. Against? No. Better divisionise that one. That's a new word I just learned.
Okay, so this is the division for 6D, option 8, without the raised safety platforms. Councillor Kewen,
Yes.
Councillor McLennan,
Nay.
Councillor MacDonald,
Yes.
Councillor Henstock,
Yes.
Councillor Moore, Councillor Scundrett,
Yes.
Councillor Harrison Hunt,
No.
Councillor Coker,
No.
Councillor Peters,
Yes.
the Mayor,
Yep.
Councillor Templeton,
Carl. Need those platforms.
no.
Carl, no. Yeah.
Councillor Barber,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Cotter, Councillor Fields,
No.
Councillor Johansson, Councillor Donovan, Councillor Goff,
Yes.
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against.
So that's carried. Thank you very much. Now,
So we've got more to do.
there was no others.
Yes.
We've done others.
Done the others. So we probably need a break, do we?
Would we take a break to get the rates updated?
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break, just a short one, don't run away, because Peter will be all over it.
That could be tens of millions.
For the rates, thank you.